record. Let's hope my computer works with us today. I am going to share my screen. It is April 14th. Like Livy said, there is 1 day left to get your taxes done. So if you have yet to do them, make sure you get those done today. And also, just a little side note off of that, because taxes are a thing that we need to think about, is make sure you are keeping track of all of your expenses. This is like totally random, but make sure you're keeping track of all of your expenses throughout the year for Beachbody. So that includes your ticket to Super Saturday that you just purchased. That includes any food that you bought while you were out. That includes a hotel room. That includes keep track of the mileage that you spent while you had to travel there. All of those things you get to claim at the end. So because you are your own business, guys, just make sure you have, what I do is I have an Excel sheet and I just literally put the date, I put whatever I spent at whatever place, and for the miles, like however long I traveled for. So me traveling across the country to Texas, I claimed every bit of those miles because that was a long ass trip. But thank you for jumping on tonight. I am so excited. We have lots to get through and we have a guest speaker tonight. So I want to jump right into our leaderboard. It is already the 14th, and I want to talk about this real quick. First, I'll announce everyone. So shout out to Erin, Katie, Veronica, Jess, and Courtney for changing a life already, and then Billy and Michelle for leading the board and already hitting Success Club. That is so awesome. We have changed 12 lives this month, and we just need to keep freaking going. It is April, so it is that kind of time of year where everybody's starting to think about spring break and their vacations coming up. So make sure you're you're sharing that. You're letting people know what day is your boot camp starting, when is your enrollment open, when is it closing, what day is it, like what day are you kicking off, why are you excited. I think one of the biggest things I took away from Super Saturday from all of the elite coaches that went up and spoke was be freaking passionate, be excited. And I feel like Ashley and I try and tell you guys this all the time, but people feel your energy, and when they feel your excitement, when you take yourself seriously, and when you have that passion, people feel that and they want to be a part of that. So just share like freaking crazy, go out and invite. But our coach of the week this week is Erin, and she has been like a sneaky little like teacher. You know, all these teachers that come in, I'm like, yo, I need to start recruiting more teachers because they are organized as fuck and they are on their shit and they are like sneaky little like they just do the things. They show up and they do the things that we give the training for, and they're on it. Like, Erin, I'm so proud of you because you came in, you got started on your journey, you got an awesome transformation, you went all in, and you hit Success Club your first month, so that means she has her Success Starter month 1 complete, so 2 more months of Success Club, and she gets her free summit ticket to next year's summit, which is incredible. And not only that, but that is huge for the team, guys. So I know I announced, and I'm sure most of you watched like my video on the Team Excelsior Instagram page. We are number 329 in the whole fucking company. 329 guys out of 400,000. I was like screaming at 2 a.m. No joke. Like, that is freaking incredible. And it is because of you guys. It is because of you guys coming into this business, taking yourself seriously and just going all in, just doing the thing, showing up for yourself first, being passionate, showing up on your Instagram and changing freaking lives. Being a success starter is huge. And I want you guys to realize that, like, this is a team thing. Like, we are going after elite together. I can't just go after elite. Like, it is truly a team thing. And to be recognized at Summit as an elite team, that's going to feel incredible. And I'm so excited that you guys got to go to your first Super Saturday for a lot of you guys. And I want to do a call on this. We might do it next week on just your top takeaways from Super Saturday. But live events are everything, and I hope you really felt that energy because that's just a taste of what Summit is. But I'm so proud of all of you that made a commitment and showed up and did what you had to do to get to that Super Saturday this weekend. So, so proud. So shout out to all of you guys on the board. And the last thing I wanted to say about the leaderboard is, guys, I'm only at Success Club 2. And that I want to talk about this just for a second, because that is all on me. I've been showing up, doing the things, but sometimes you just have to trust the process. I haven't had people commit. I've sent share cards, nobody's followed through with them, and that's okay. I can't rely on those people. I just have to keep doing the things and trusting the process, because I know that those people are going to come. So I'm going to show up every single day. I'm going to send my invites until I change a life, and just keep going. Like it's not always people flooding to you. You have to go out and find those people that need you, and that's my mission every single day. But like especially this week, because I am closing enrollment at the end of this week, and so after that, I'm done sending my invites to my boot camp, and then I'm switching to my coach sneak peek. So I just want to let you guys know that like sometimes it happens to me too, even as a leader. I have to go out and find those people. So. Next thing, announcements. These are all the same. The only new one is, I don't know why this date went away, but May 20th is Beachbody Recover, the vegan one. They announced the specific date. So other than that, all of them are the same from last week, and you can check the Coach Breaking News for all the updates on what is going on this week. Last thing is just our week at a glance. Obviously, National Wake Up Call on Monday, Team Call on Tuesday for Team Elevate. I'm actually going live in our team page, so there'll be a Wildcard Wednesday in Team Elevate, but there'll also be one in our team page, Team Excelsior, and I am going live and sharing my biggest thing that I learned from Super Saturday, and it's all on time management, which I think is what we need. So, and on Wednesday, I'm going to do an Emerald University in Team Excelsior. And then other than that, coffee chat on Saturday with Team Elevate. And like I said, on Sundays, we are doing the nutrition chats every Sunday morning. But last but not least, I am so excited to have Cassie on our call tonight. Cassie and I met on Instagram. Actually, it's funny because one of my friends from high school, Casey, that I went to school with, she messaged me and she's like, do you know this girl? Like, she's from New York and she moved down to Austin. I was like, don't have a clue. But it's just so funny because the two friends that I've really gotten close with down here in Austin are both from New York, which is incredible. I'm so grateful for this coaching community for literally bringing them into my life. But Cassie is amazing. I am so grateful to have her as my friend. You can obviously already see why I love her so much. We instantly click because she has a golden retriever. He is so freaking cute, and I'm sure she'll talk about him. But Cassie is a diamond coach. She is in Bree Headley's downline, which I was so excited about because I love learning from other teams and just seeing how their processes are. She is a diamond coach. She is a fur mama. She is a full-time interior designer that works down here in Austin, and she has been a coach for 11 months, lost 15 pounds in her own journey, which is obviously, when you show up for yourself, you find success in the business. So I'm so excited to have her speak. She is speaking on a lot of Instagram, all things Instagram. Obviously, she is an interior designer, so she has that eye for those things. So I am going to hand it over to you, Cass, and just let you go for it.
Hey guys, thank you so much for just letting me on this call. I'm so excited to kind of just throw a lot of stuff at you. I am very much a visual person, so I'm actually going to share my screen, and I put together a little presentation for you guys. So feel free to take notes. The first part of it, I'm actually going to do a little bit of Q&A because I know a lot of people try to come on here and tell you a little bit of their story, but because I am talking about Instagram and that's kind of like our coaching resume, to be honest, it's our business resume, you're going to kind of learn a little bit about my story through my visuals that I'm going to share with you. So first things first is I'm going to talk you through how to really get to know yourself and so while you're doing this, while I'm kind of introing and kicking this off, grab a pen and paper if you don't have one. because I feel like there's this misconception that once we decide to become a coach, we kind of like forget everything about ourselves and we just turn into these Beachbody robots, right? We start talking about the programs, we start talking about the products, and we just kind of forget how to just talk about things that we love and like pieces of ourselves. So I really want to help you guys remember some of that stuff. So it may sound really silly, and some of this stuff you may have already kind of realized, but once you get some of this info, I'm going to show you how to turn it into your content on social media. So first things first, I want you guys to write down 5 things about yourself, 5 kind of like hobbies or interests that you have. Obviously, health and fitness is going to be one of them because, hey, what's up? Hello, you are a coach now. But what are some of these other things that you would use to describe yourself? So I'll give you a little bit of time to do that. For me, it is hiking. Obviously, I'm a dog mom, so I share a lot about that. I'm in love with sports. I grew up playing sports all my life. So that is a really big way that I relate to other people because I kind of already had a passion for health and fitness as a sports athlete, but now it's kind of in a different way, but I use a lot of the coaching techniques from sports in my coaching business. I'm also a super Disney lover. Like, I'm a 4-year-old child stuck in a 26-year-old body, but all things Disney, like if I find out that you love Disney, you are instantly like my person. And elephants are my like favorite animal. And I actually foster an elephant, and I talk about that often on my social media, like totally left field. No one would think that that matters in your social media business, but it does because I've had so many people reach out to me, and now anytime they see elephants out in the world, like I'll get DMs up the wazoo of people sending me elephant things because they recognize that I love elephants. So if you could get someone to know you for something, like how many of us love Maddie's Trillers all the time, right? Like people know her for that. You want to make sure that something you love and are passionate about, people can identify you with that. Another thing I want you guys to write down a little bit deeper. What are 3 personality traits that you have that you like about yourself? 3 good ones. And then on the flip side, write 3 bad ones. I am stubborn as hell, guys. Like it's really hard to get me to kind of do something I don't want to do because I just get really stubborn about it. Something else, I can get pretty emotional. Like I wear my emotions on my sleeve, and I kind of count that as a good and bad thing, but it very much plays into like my Instagram stories and how I act on there, because I'll be like PMSing and just emotional AF on my Instagram stories. And yeah, it's just, people can connect with that part of yourself. But if you're also really stubborn or thick-headed, like people, I don't know, people can just relate to that so much more. So ask yourself those questions. Like maybe you've never thought about sharing that part of yourself on your social media in your content, but now that you're going to be generating this list of things about yourself, you can. So this is more rapid fire. Write your favorite color, write your favorite movie, your favorite genre of music, your favorite season, and all of this will make sense in a little bit, but your favorite food, like deathbed, death row food, like something, your last meal. What about a favorite restaurant, like a local restaurant that you like to go to? Where do you live? Like think about being a tourist in your own neighborhood. How many times have you actually shared about like cool places around you so that people know you're not a hermit and like live indoors all day? If you work another job, what is your job? What do you do? How do you get to that point in your life? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Like share that you are actually a human that works in this world and you are hustling. Now we get a little bit deeper. Write down 3 insecurities you have about you and your abilities. Things for me, making friends as an adult. Sounds weird, but I'm like a kind of an introverted extrovert. And as Maddie said, like finding friends, especially in a new place, it's kind of hard. So that's an insecurity I have. Running a business definitely is an insecurity for myself. And sometimes I talk about that and I get really vulnerable because it helps people realize that like, hey, I'm scared too. Maybe this is not so, kind of out of my reach, right? Being a leader. It's an insecurity that I have. You know, I'm kicking off my team. I'm building leadership in them, but it's something that I have to work on constantly myself. It's really good to share that and be really open and honest about that, not only with your social media following, but even with your own team, because then it really does become that team effort, right? It's not just you are leading from the front, but the only reason why you're leading from the front is because you're just badass and confident enough to do it, and you're pushing through those insecurities, right? So share about that. Then think about a fear that you had with this opportunity specifically. Why were you afraid to say yes to this? Why were you afraid to, you know, finally commit to something? Are you afraid of commitment? Are you afraid of what your life would look like if you didn't say yes to this? Sometimes people forget like why the hell they said yes to this in the first place. And it's really good to remember why you were afraid so that you can help when people come to you with objections, right? This is a big one too. Write down a small monetary freedom that you have, that you want to accomplish with this business. I'll give you an example. There's this really wonderful restaurant in Disney that we go to every year, my boyfriend and I. It's really expensive, and a monetary freedom I really have, and I say sometimes to my coaches, I say on my social media, is that I would love to be able to say, hey babe, don't worry, I got the bill tonight. One day when I want to be able to say that, okay, hey, my coaching income has been able to allow me to accomplish a goal I've had for so long, and treating my boyfriend to one of our most expensive dinners that we have every single year, right? Something small that can be attainable for other people, that's really recognizable. And then write a big one too. Write down a big one. For me, paying off my student loans. And we all know that's really relatable, right? But sometimes that's why it's nice to have the small ones too, to offset the big ones, to know that you are building this freedom for yourself, not only for the little things along the way, but for the big things too. And last but not least, I want you to write down 2 people in this business. One is a coach that you know has had an amazing transformation. It doesn't necessarily need to be on this team. It can be on Team Elevate. It can be on like the larger team you're a part of, but find a coach's transformation that blows your freaking mind. Because if you can talk about someone else's transformation and someone else's story as if it were your own, that's big. That shows not only that you're making the connections in this business that matter, but that you care enough about someone else's story to know it, to know how they have gotten to where they are in their weight loss journey or weight gain journey. So someone's physical transformation is really important, but then also writing down someone in this business that you have become like best friends with, or someone that you just jive with. Because how many of us have watched coaches' stories that like they're bridesmaids in their coach friend's wedding? Like, this is not just a community that gives you the support. This is a community that literally breathes life into you in terms of these friendships, in terms of these stories. And that's all of the content that we just covered, that list that you're making for yourself. That's the content. That's who you are. That's what you need to put into your stories. Not just talking about Shakeology, not just talking about, the next fitness program that you're doing. That's all a part of it, but you need to share about you. You need to share about your story. And that's what I'm going to talk about, because this is why it matters. Your content is the most important thing about your business, because that's how you are connecting and engaging with other people. So this is a little bit of how I was able to turn some of the answers to those questions into content for myself. For me, the photo on the left, I have this really big obsession with Nike Pros. It's kind of been my motivation in my fitness journey, and not only in my fitness journey, but like my body positivity journey, because I used to buy them and I would feel so self-conscious about wearing them. All the track girls in high school used to wear these like itty bitty booty shorts, and I was like, I have a big ass and I feel really uncomfortable wearing these things. And so I use posts like this to share those insecurities I had, but also share that like now I have probably 10 pairs of Nike Pros in my closet, and like that's what I wear every day to my workout. They see it. And I may have the rolls, I may have, a little extra junk in the trunk, but that is how I've been able to overcome some of my insecurities. And it's like that brand, that symbol, that piece of clothing, it becomes such a big story for me. Obviously the next image, ice cream, like that's pretty self-explanatory. We all know our foodie pics, but don't forget about them. Don't forget that some people like connect with food really deeply, and especially with Ultimate Portion Fix coming out now, we know that there's this big shift in mindset around food from not being so much of a source of comfort, being a source of fuel. So how you share that, you know, the knowledge, but you're also living your life as a human and enjoying some of these things. You get to start to be that expert and shift the mindset about food and those conversations. The next image is how I'm able to get my boyfriend into my Instagram, because he hates being on Instagram. He hates the photos. He is not an Instagram boyfriend. I take all of my photos myself. I was able to use this as a way to say that, okay, after almost a year of really focusing on my health and fitness, he's starting to finally come around and do some of these things with me. We've done sports together, but we've never done like home workouts together. He's never been drinking. Only recently has he started drinking Shakeology with me. And like, that's a big thing. So many people don't have the support of their spouse or their boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever in their journey, but it doesn't stop them. And so I was able to share in this post about how I'm able to just, you know, lead by example and be consistent. And after a while, your loved ones just recognize it, right? The last one, doing kind of a side-by-side comparison of me and my role as a designer and me as my role as a coach. And I'm just so freaking proud of both of these job titles that I have, that I shared about it. And you can see that all of these photos are just completely different in terms of layout, in terms of up close, far away, but they all have a very similar, consistent look and feel. And I'll go into that a little bit later, but you can see how the answers to those questions that I gave you in the very beginning can start to fuel your content. Even if you forget about it at first, look back at this list and say, when was the last time I talked about an insecurity I had back in high school, right? Okay, so now into some of these nitty gritty. I'll kind of breeze through this, but what the point I want to make is that you are the creative director of your Instagram, of your resume. So you need to be able to take high quality photos, and how you do that. First things first is staging the photo. So find interesting backdrops, use different poses, take the same photo, multiple angles, and plan ahead if you have to. I chase the natural light, man. I load up on photos on the weekend because that's when I have time to get out and about. So especially if you work full time, you got to make sacrifices to get the good photo. Here are some examples, right? Find an inviting environment, something that makes them feel like, damn, I want to sit in that, you know, comfy chair with your dog. And not to mention the lighting was like, oh, this photo makes me like melt because the lighting was so freaking perfect. But they can see that there's this weird little elephant photo in the background, and there's a Disney photo on the wall, and you can start to just, the environment sets such a mood that if you have people that stalk your photos, and let's be honest, people stalk photos on Instagram, that's kind of the whole point. You want to make sure that you have an inviting environment in your photo, right? Sometimes finding a fun wall is, you know, the simple solution, but it can pack such a big punch in terms of your content. Maybe it's just, you know, the words on the wall, or maybe it's just a fun color or something. Particularly why I chose this image, and Maddie actually took this for me, but it's not of me looking at the camera. How many of you have a photo on your Instagram feed that is you not looking at the camera? Probably not many of you, but it got so much engagement because it was just me, like in my natural environment laughing. It's like, it feels so much more candid, and that's really nice to have that variety in your feed, right? Going outside, self-explanatory. People love natural light. People love to see that you're not a hermit. I know we don't get that all the time. We don't get the chance to. That's why the planning ahead and stocking up on these photos makes such a big difference. Having yourself a merry little photo shoot. Funny story about this. This was back when I was in New York. It's probably like 45 degrees outside. Ran home on my lunch break, changed into this cute all black matching outfit, took 35 photos in a span of like 20 minutes, changed, went back to work because it was a sunny day that day. And I was like, crap, I'm going to take advantage of it. You got to do what you got to do, right? It's just having fun with poses. You may feel awkward AF in some of these poses, like total beauty queen. Just roll with it. Honestly, sometimes the more awkward, the better, but you get to use these and stock up on them for months and months to come. I recycle this same photo a bunch just because I have so many of them, and it works. Similar thing, different, same idea, but different thing is when you're out somewhere, you can, this is less photo shooty, but it was still me all by myself wandering around Austin taking these photos. But look, I have 3 completely different photos, same day, 20 minutes apart, and I changed it up, right? I used one sitting down, one close up, one far away. Make sure you're just like remembering that variety is the key to a really good Instagram feed, and making sure that you're taking the time. If you have a cute outfit, if you have a cute day, part of your job as a visual kind of communicator and storyteller is your content. Investing the time in this is equally as important, I would argue, as sharing your invites, right? It's the same thing. So many people put so much more effort into, you know, scrolling their Instagram feed to find people and using their time ineffectively versus putting some extra effort into your actual Instagram feed, so that when you do send those invites and people come to your feed for credibility check, they're like, all right, yeah, this girl knows what she's talking about, right? Want to do a close-up? Close-ups are so important, guys, especially on a big feed when you're just scrolling. A big close-up that's bright and like very eye-catching makes them stop, but just change it up. Don't do the same like left selfie on your feed every 4 seconds. You got to change it up. Do something different, smile, not smile, just change it up. Okay, step 2, actually taking the photo of your selfie. I know this sounds so stupid, but clean your damn camera lens, please. I have to tell my coaches all the time, like, I don't even care if you clean it with the inside of your bra, like just clean off the damn lens, because it makes such a difference. And for me, honestly, self-timer or even recording a video and then I just like pose and then I just screenshot from there, like do what you gotta do. If you don't have an Instagram boyfriend, that should not be an excuse to be your own creative director. Or using a tripod. This is something that is an investment in your business. You can use it as a tax write-off, but these are some good ones that people on my team have. They're not super expensive. You can get them on Amazon. So a lot of people use tripods. I personally don't, because I've been able to master balancing my phone on things, but selfie ring lights, same thing. I'm sure you've heard this. It's not like brand new news, but these are things that will help you have a good quality Instagram, right? Okay, I'm speeding through this because I know we don't have a lot of time left, but all taken with a self-timer. You can see I can get a lot of variety of shots and angles just by using my phone, leaning up against different surfaces. Okay, 3, editing the photo. This is probably the most critical thing that I've done that has actually saved me time. I have done a bunch of different photo editing apps. I've tried a whole bunch. I've landed basically on using presets. This is an example, and I can share this presentation with Maddie so you guys can like look at it deeper, but I've used a bunch of these different apps. Now I use Lightroom and a preset that I bought off of Etsy. So not a very expensive one. It was probably like $4 or something like that. Again, investment in my business, and it takes me 3 clicks to edit my photos. They all look the same. It's all consistent. If you want to try out presets without buying them first, Visco, and if you just Google Pinterest, whatever, look on Pinterest to find free filters like this one. It basically tells you, okay, use this filter, change the exposure to this, change your temperature to that. It gives you a free filter essentially to use and start testing out. So you can try these things for free before you actually spend money on a preset, but presets, I think, are the way to go. It saves you so much time in terms of editing your photos, and it makes everything consistent. That is the key. Consistent in your inviting, consistent in your look and feel on Instagram. Again, on Etsy, some are these different ones. Alexa Jean Fitness is a very popular one. Look how much of a difference it makes. Also, just a higher quality phone. So the one on the left is just a normal image. The one on the right, I retook it with portrait mode, invested in a higher quality phone, and then did 2 clicks with my preset, and boom, much better, much higher quality. Yes, it makes me look fake tan. I don't really give a fuck. But it looks so much nicer on my feed now. The one on the left is so dull. The one on the right just pops. You don't need to make it look nice or look realistic. You just need to make it look eye-catching and pretty and it needs to look like you. Okay, those are kind of my kind of wrap-ups. The most thing, honestly, the big tip is just variety, chasing the light, and being smarter, like work smarter, not harder. Don't make it harder on yourself. Use the presets, use the tools that you have to be the creative director for your own business. Big picture, social media overall. My highlights pick up the orangey tone on my preset, so everything looks very consistent, cohesive. My bio shares a little bit of like my top kind of relatable items, so people know me the very first scroll. I also tell them what I'm doing as a coach. It's not just like fur mama, interior designer, coach. It's what am I helping people doing? What am I gonna help you do if you come to my page? Last but not least, your first scroll. Again, always check in on this. I check on this almost every week. I see how much variety I have. I see where I need to change it up. I see that, oh, I have a lot of selfies in there. I gotta go take shots outside. I gotta share food. I gotta have different poses, different things. But don't worry, guys, because back when I was a first coach, like this is what my feed looked like. It was janky. It was not cute. The lighting was not great. I didn't really have anything. I didn't have a purpose behind my content, visual or otherwise. Like, yeah, I shared a transformation photo. Yeah, you could kind of see that I was probably involved in health and fitness, but I didn't look like someone that like felt confident and had a business, had something to invite people to. And that's the point of this. You have to make sure that you're engaging. You have to make sure you're truly sharing your story and that you're being someone that you would want to follow, right? That's how you're going to find your tribe. That's how you're going to find your people, is sharing your story in a visual way that makes people see that you're credible, right? Anytime I write a post, I make sure it answers those three things. Is it engaging? Is it empowering? Is it entertaining? Because part of Instagram is just being an entertainer, right? You don't need to have the like sob story long post. You can also just have the like, hey, be a badass today, eat a cookie. Like you can change up your content and have it be your personality. And honestly, half the time, the stupid little comments or captions I have get way more traction than the big stuff. But the people who are watching you and are going to sign up with you and really be your working coaches, they care about that big, long stuff too. They care about the insecurity posts. They care about you being vulnerable and sharing your stuff. And then they know that you can kick back and have fun too, right? So hopefully, sorry, I just spoke really, really fast, but I have this ticking timer in front of me and it's freaking me out. So if you have any questions, let me know, but I'll stop my share now. And you can, like I said, I'll share the presentation with Maddie after so you guys can look at it deeper.
So good. We needed that so badly. And I feel like hearing it from a different person and not just me over and over and over saying, guys, like go take a picture outside, like go walk outside, go to a window. I know you live in New York, but you still have windows. Like the sun might not be shining, but like it's still brighter. Like go by a window. And just the variety, like I feel like that was one of the biggest things, is stop taking the same selfie. Like, no, I mean, you're cute, I love you, but like get some variety, go outside, go do something, go show that you're not just in your house all the time. I know when I first moved here, like I was out and about, like I went to a graffiti party, like I literally had to just make a new Gmail account, guys, because I filled up my freaking Google photo, like Drive, with photos that I've taken from here. I had to go create a new one because I had used 50 gigabytes just full of photos that I've taken from here. Like go out on a weekend, whatever day you have off, or like whenever you have time with your boyfriend or a friend, like set up a photo shoot, take some different outfits and go out. And this is a priority. Like this is literally your business. It's your storefront. I love that you say it's your resume, because it's so true. Like people come to that and they're reading it and like, is this person someone I can trust? And pictures matter. Instagram is a visual platform. Like we have to make sure that we are taking that seriously. And like Cassie said, just save yourself time, guys. Presets are literally $2-3 on Etsy. $2-3. Like just go do it. You'd spend that much on a coffee. Like it's an investment in your business. You need to do it. But other than that, so good. Did you guys have any other questions for Cass? I mean, we live literally like a mile from each other, so we're together pretty often. Liv said she used to spend like 30 minutes editing one picture. Yeah, I use the same filter on mine every time. I use Visco still, but I it's just because I really like that filter, and I really like it. It's working for me until
Yeah, you don't have to have the polished, like clean, light and bright filter that seems to be going around now. Like, you just need to have your look, and it just needs to be consistent for you.
Yeah.
And that's the most important part. But
that's
just
the big thing.
Feels you.
I remember, I think Amy Silverman did a call on this, and she was just like, Mandy Kai, she was like, if you don't live in a light and bright gray, like, house, like, don't try and use that filter. Like, use what works for you. For me, I like every freaking color under the rainbow, usually blues and greens because I'm outside all the time, like hiking or going to new places, or purples and pinks. Those are my go-tos. So I picked a filter that like works with that and enhances that. So pick something that works for you. But other than that, Livy, can you take a picture real quick? Or somebody with a phone. That screen isn't blue like mine. The filter on you guys right now makes you look like an alien. Sorry. Okay. Smile. So good. Thank you, Cass, so much. We needed it, and I am definitely putting this into our unit section for training because it is necessary. So thank you so much, and thank you guys for hopping on tonight. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.